Yeah. Okay.
Disrespectful and
Okay.
winner one hell of a kid. Smoking gas, drinking
Winner.
what you doing out of dick. Slick talker since a jet.
Winter time, all the time, ooh, yeah. Look at the way that I move, swag. Disrespectful and I'm rude, okay. I had cocaine in the school, winter one hell of a kid. I am smoking gas, drinking mid. I'm lit, what you doing out in dick? I swear, slick talker since a jet. Finesse, I know that this what they want. Facts, run up some money, I'm gone. I'm out.
Kishanks with us here, and today we'll be doing what if Asta has Sasuke's powers. 100 sub special. I apologize for being gone for so long, and to be honest, there's just no excuse on on the reason I was gone. I was just being lazy, but I'm back, and I'm back on the grind. Thank you so much for 100 subs. I really appreciate it. For real, yo guys, thank you from the bottom of my heart. You don't know how much I appreciate it, and that's why I decided to come back, because all the love I'm getting, I can't just stop doing what else out of the blue like that. That wouldn't be right. That wouldn't be fair to y'all. But without further ado, let's get started. We start off the story with two children on the front porch at a church. Inside the church was a middle-aged man who hears the doorbell ring. He opened the door to find no one, but as he looked down, he saw two baby boys sleeping peacefully. As he would take them in, we see those two baby boys 5 years later. As the father is asking both Yuno and Asta to pick up or deliver something, if I'm not mistaken, on their way, this drunken man would take Yuno's necklace. When Yuno would reach for it trying to get it, the man would punch him. This would piss off Asta greatly, as he would then activate his one-to-one shotgun, running at the man, dodging a punch from him, and attacks him. Since Asta was 5, the impact on his punches aren't as great as they would be, but they weren't any normal punches from a 5-year-old. The man would actually feel pain combined with that, and not being able to touch Asta, he would eventually throw the necklace down in the snow and walk off, mumbling out of anger. Asta would give Yuno's necklace back to him, as Yuno would thank him, and they would head home. By the way, if you are wondering, Asta does still want to be the Wizard King, and if you're wondering about Asta's appearance, he looks like Sasuke with white hair, or maybe I'll just make him look like Sasuke with black hair. I'll let you know when I've made my mind up. Anyways, we then skip far into the future, about 10 years, seeing a 50-year-old Asta and 15-year-old Yuno. Asta isn't sure here, and Asta actually has achieved the Rinnegan and the Mangekyo Sharingan through all these years. Anyways, we see both Asta and Yuno headed to the Grimoire Tower, as Yuno would say, that this decides a lot about our future. Asta would then say, Yuno, why am I coming here again? Remember, what I have is not magic. I highly doubt that I would get a grimoire. Yuno would then say, I know, but I just want my brother to be there when I get my grimoire. Asta would sigh and say, fine, and Asta and Yuno are still the same age, but Asta is a few months older, and he is much more mature than Yuno, so Yuno sees him more like a big brother. It's just like with Sabo and Ace. Anyways, they eventually reached the Grimoire Tower. As the ceremony would start, the grimoires would glow and begin to scatter and eventually land in the hands of their holders. The room would glow and light up, as a particular grimoire grew brighter than all of them. It was a grimoire with a 4-leaf clover on it, and this amazing grimoire landed in the hands of Yuno. Everyone would be shocked and jealous that this disgusting commoner got such a magnificent grimoire. But before they could make their comments, they would see the boy who didn't get any grimoire at all, Asta, standing there with his eyes closed, as he would say to himself, I figured this would happen. However, the nobles and royals would begin to laugh and disrespect Asta. This would piss off Asta very much, as he would activate his Sharingan plus Rinnegan, releasing so much bloodlust it shook the whole room quiet. In this moment, a grimoire would actually come flying to Asta, and Asta would actually be pretty surprised. He would catch it as does a black sword would come out of it, and it was a 5-leaf grimoire. This is the Demon Slayer sword that came out of the grimoire. However, unlike in the original, it wouldn't be wide and clunky. It would be skinny and normal sized, like Sasuke's blade in Naruto. Asta would put his blade back into the grimoire and would then eventually leave with Yuno. The guy from Canon actually doesn't even try and attack Asta and Yuno because he knows Asta would murder him in like a second. After a few months of training for Asta and Yuno, 6 months if I'm not mistaken, they would meet up again and begin to travel to the Magic Knight's entrance exam, saying their goodbyes to everyone in the church. By the way, if you were wondering, this Asta here does not have a crush on Sister Lily at all. This is actually the only thing that annoys me about Asta's character. This man literally has a harem, yet he's after Sister Lily, who doesn't want him and doesn't even look good. Anyways, after lots of walking and traveling and eating and sleeping and hunting, and even a little bit of training, Asta and Yuno would make it to the Magic Knight's entrance exams. We're here, Asta would finally. We're here, Asta would say, and Yuno would say finally, adding. They would register their grimoires and they would walk into the little arena thingy where they hold the Magic Knight's entrance exams. The girls will be looking at Yuno and Asta and blushing, thinking that they were really cute, and the entrance exams will shortly begin after. For the broom test, Asta would simply ride on his sword instead, as he would later in canon, not needing magic for that. The magic captains would be very impressed, but Yami would pick up on something, saying that kid's not using any magic. After further notice, the rest of the Magic Knight squad captains will realize this, and would think that this is even more impressive. Asta and Yuno will proceed to just absolutely blow away the competition, easily completing the test they get. We get down to sparring, and here Sasuke wouldn't even try and mess with Asta because he knows he isn't someone to play with. Asta would get a different sparring partner, and someone who is much stronger than Sasuke. He is around Asta's level as the start in the. He is around original canon Asta's level at the start of the story, and he has sword magic. He would thrust many swords at Asta as Asta is just weaving with his eyes closed. He would then catch a sword in between his fingers and then throw it into the ground. He then slowly walks up to him and flick him on the forehead, knocking him out. The captives would be shocked knowing Asta didn't use any magic, as Yami would think, just how strong is this brat. Yuno will completely and easily destroy his opponent with a single air spell, as this version of Yuno is much stronger. Seeing Asta being strong, he needed to rival him and step up his game, achieving greater strength. After this, it would be the moment of truth for everyone there, seeing if they would get on the Magic Knight squads or not. The majority of them would not make it. Little did they know. But for Yuno, every single captain raises their hand, and Yuno chooses the Golden Dawn per canon. Asta would then walk up once they see Asta, every single squad captain will raise their hand. Asta then would laugh and say, "Damn, you nobles and royals are gonna hate me so much. But who cares?" He would then say, "I'm joining the Black Bulls." Everyone there would be astonished and kind of disrespected, as Asta would then say they're filled with weirdos, outcasts, freaks, and that sounds exactly like me all the way. Yami would laugh and say, "I like you, kid. I'm glad you joined the squad." Eventually, they would head to the Black Bulls HQ together, and Asta would see it and smirk and say, "What a dump." Yami would then say, "Yeah, but it's our home." Asta would walk in and would see everyone being themselves, just having fun, and this made Asta happy inside for some reason, as this will remind him of others. He doesn't know who, though. Asta would then introduce himself as Vanessa would actually begin to hit on Asta. Asta just says, "You do know I'm 15, right?" Charmy would offer him snacks, Gordon would mumble, Ghost would talk about his sister, and Gray blow smoke out of his mouth. Luck would ask Asta, does he want to fight, and Funeral would introduce everyone. Asta would introduce himself saying it's nice to be here and it feels like home already. Magma challenging Asta would go the same, asking him did he want a Black Bull's robe, and Asta would actually say yes, and what does he have to do to get it. Magma would say the same thing in Canada, and they would eventually go outside. And Magma would actually launch multiple fire attacks at Asta. Asta would pull out the his Demon Slayer blade out of his grimoire and would easily cut those fire attacks in half with his magic. He would then use Fireball Jutsu as it would hit Magma, Magma losing the battle, getting knocked out. Asta would put him in the King of Hell, summoning the King of Hell and putting Magma in it. And just like that, Asta would earn his stripes, getting his Black Bull's robe. After this, Asta will walk into his room, writing to Hodge of how he's made it and how he'll miss them, but he's doing this for this cracked society. The next day, Magma shows Asta around, and they eventually run into Noelle as their encounter goes the same. Noelle's trying to hit Asta with her water magic, but hits Magma. Asta would then see her magic with his Sharingan, seeing how it's all twisted up and not concentrated. He would then say, "You're lying about Magma just being at the wrong place." Asta would then say, "You can't control your magic power. It isn't under your control, and it's not concentrated. And that's why you missed your attack." Noelle would actually throw down the Black Bull's robe and actually run away crying. Asta would sigh and say, "Damn it, I didn't mean it like that." He would then run after her, and before he could say anything, her mana, I apologize, Noelle's mana would burst. It would burst like in cannon, a water mana coming from her. I'm sorry, in the form of a huge ball covering her in the air. Yami would then tell Asta to do something, and Asta says, "I'm already on it." Asta would jump in the air and slash through the water barrier, destroying it, catching Noelle. They start falling to the ground, and this will make Noelle blush as she's in Asta's arms. Asta would think that this is adorable, and he would land and put her down, as Asta would explain to her that he didn't want to mean to disrespect her or offend her in any way with his comments earlier, and said that her mom is actually very cool, very strong, and once that she can control it, it'll be very powerful and very useful, which she can help her with. Noelle agrees to this, and Asta reaches out a hand to which Noelle would take it, and that's where I'll be ending the video off. Hope you guys like, comment, and subscribe. The like goal for part 2 is 5 likes. Sorry if the video is short. I'm gonna make another one just because this one is so short. Thanks for 100 subs again, and I'm out. Peace.